Omnichannel is all over the place, but very few people talk about how to actually accomplish this. This video will talk about how to build an omnichannel world by Richard Halter, the Wizard of Pause. In 2010, I taught Retalix how to accomplish this. I taught them what you are about to learn. Then in 2013, they presented their new POS at the NRF's big show. They were the first company to natively handle this complicated omni-channel model. So first, you enter your order on a tablet at home. You then go to a retailer and verify your order at a different POS. From there, you go to another one and maybe add other items to your order. And when you're ready, you go to a different POS to pay for the transaction. And then finally, you go to a receipt printing station to get a paper receipt or have it sent electronically to your account. With this model, they were way ahead of the world. So let's see how to make this work. So how do you make it all seamlessly work? Well, in version 4 of the ARTS data model, released in around 2004, they used this CQRS model for command query responsibility segregation. CQRS is a design pattern that states that we can, and sometimes should, separate the data update versus the data querying capabilities into separate models. Data altering operations should be in different methods, separated from the methods performed for read-only operations. CQRS takes this concept a large step further, instructing us to use entirely different models for update versus queries. Each step in the sales process creates a separate transaction. When one adds items or pays for items, each transaction is its own. These individual steps are recorded as separate transactions in the update model. The query model then summarizes these individual transactions into one transaction. We now have what is basically a receipt with all the information contained within one entry. So this is how that's implemented in the retail technology standards world. We start with building a shopping basket. It's just a list of the items that you put inside your basket. If we want to save them, we embed them in an order transaction, which is the container of all of the items in the shopping basket. And you can save that off and use it to come back later if you want to come back and look at something else. Otherwise, you get converted into a customer order transaction. And now we're looking at the individual transactions that were created in the CQRS model. These are handled independently in the pause log schema for messaging to communicate that to the backend systems. Each of these customer order transactions get stored in the data model as a customer order control transaction. So again, we have each one and we have the full history of what has transpired. The customer order control transactions get summarized into a customer order or a payment on account. Now they separated the payment on account because of the sheer volume of information associated with payments, and they didn't want to necessarily duplicate that. You can go back and you can change and update things along the whole path. And eventually, when they tender payment on account and receive the customer order, the transaction is complete and it can now be accounted for in your financials, and it gets converted into a retail transaction. This is all stored inside the data model, all of these types of things. But in addition, PauseLog has a retail transaction for communication of the end result of this to other systems in the environment that need information on what's happened with this particular sale. The end result is that information can come from any channel as its own transaction without any knowledge of any other channel. That information can then be summarized into one transaction for finalization. In today's world, this model gets updated to include things like Internet of Things, robots, self-driving cars, and becomes unified commerce. There is an enormous number of options exposed in this video. If you need help, please contact me. I will help you evolve your retail. I am the Wizard of Pause. My name is Richard Halter. My email is richard.halter@cox.net. Thank you.